Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're ready for another adventure. Today I thought I would take you to an interesting country, a country called India. Now, India is pretty special because it's one of the biggest countries on earth. There are so many people living there. There's over 1 billion. That's not 1,000. That's not 100,000. That's not 1 million. That's 1 billion. That is a lot of people all living in one country. Now, before we get any further, let's use those imaginations of ours. We'll close our eyes. 3, 2, 1, lift off. We're now in the sky. And if we have a look out the window, you'll be able to see India from in the plane. Now you can see India is this large piece of orange lands. Now, India has some neighbours. They've got Pakistan, they've got China up here, and they've got Nepal right in between China and itself, India. Now, if we were to hop off a plane and try and find someone to speak to, it might be a bit hard. In fact, they don't just speak one language over in India, they actually speak 100 different languages. That's because there's over 1 billion people living there on such a large country. So it might be a bit hard to learn different ways to talk to people. But there's one language that gets used almost by everyone. That language is called Hindi. So if we wanted to say hello to someone, instead of saying hello, we could say namaste. Should we have a practice? We'll start with hello. So we'll say 3, 2, 1, hello. 3, 2, 1, namaste. Namaste. Now, there are some really special buildings in India. If we have a look here, we can see a very old temple that was built a long, long time ago. Now, this temple has a name that is a bit hard for me to pronounce. It's very, very tricky. But there's another building that I would like to show you that I do know the name of. This one is called the Taj Mahal. This is a very, very famous building. Must have taken them a very long time to build this one. Now, there's also a lot of great food in India. Some of my favourites are samosas and biryani. Now, samosas, these things here, it's like a pastry. Pastry is what goes on the outside of things like sausage rolls, pinwheels, and pies. But inside of here are a lot of savoury things. So it could have vegetables, onions, potatoes. They use a lot of spices to make their foods taste really, really yummy. Now, the biryani is a little bit like a curry, but instead of using one type of rice in their curry, they use 2, 3, 4 different types of rice and mix them all together. And they also add the sauce on top later to mix it all in. Now, the sauces could be whatever you want. So if you were ever to cook biryani, you could choose what flavours go in, what spices, what vegetables, or even what meat goes in. But remember, you don't need to use meat. In fact, in India, there are a lot of people who are vegetarian. That means that they only choose to have vegetables and fruits. They don't eat meat. And that could be the same for the biryani or the samosas. They both could have meat, or they both might be with no meat, which means that the people eating them must be vegetarian. At Kinder, sometimes we have vegetarian dishes for everyone. So let's just go back over what we learned. We had the flag of India, which you can see has orange on the top, white on the middle, green on the bottom, and it has this interesting emblem in the middle. If we were to have a look outside of a plane, you would see that this orange part of the map is India. It's very, very big with a lot of people living there. In fact, it's over 1 billion people living there. That's a lot of people. we had a look at some old temples that were created a long time ago, and some amazing buildings like this one, the Taj Mahal, which was built more recently, but it must have taken a very long time to build. We also learned of two interesting and very yummy dishes that we could have in India, which are samosas, pastry on the outside, which are filled with all your yummy vegetables and spices inside, and our biryani, which is lots of different types of rice all mixed together with a sauce added later. Both of these dishes can be with meat or can be with no meat, which means they are vegetarian. We've eaten vegetarian things at Kinder before. They can be very yummy. They're also very healthy. Well, it's almost getting time for us to come back home, so before we get back on a plane, we need to be able to say goodbye to everyone. But remember, it's hard in India because there are so many people and there are so many different languages that those people speak. But one of the more common ones that the most people know how to speak is the language of Hindi. So we'll say goodbye in Hindi. So 3, 2, 1, goodbye everyone. 3, 2, 1, Alvida. Alvida. Alvida everyone.